let's talk about the mess. In my life since becoming a stay-at-home mom, there have been several things that seem to constantly occupy my thoughts. The two things that are always fighting for top billing are the mom guilt and the mess. And sometimes those things are just two horns on the same goat. If you've been here from the start of my channel, you will remember that my cleaning and minimalism videos were what started my YouTube channel. Cleaning my house used to be my thing. I wouldn't go to bed until every single room was done. And of course, I didn't have children at the time, so I would wake up with everything exactly the way that I left it the night before. As you can see, I'm no longer a minimalist, and I'm now the proud mother to 2 young kids. And with those changes has come a lot of mess. In preparation for this video, I actually went back and watched some of my old videos, and I had to cackle at what newly married me thought was a messy house. Like, girl, please. You have 2 baskets of laundry and 1 paper towel crumpled up on the countertop. Take a breath and sit down. But as someone who did pride myself on having a clean home, the mess has been something I've struggled with. With 1 baby, I found it really easy to keep up with. And even with 2, it wasn't as much of a struggle as it seems to be now that my kids are 4 and 5 and they're more active. Babies kind of just stay where you put them, but kids that are a lot more independent and that love to play and that kind of thing, there's a lot more mess. And there's a lot more dishes and there's a lot more laundry and things like that. And sometimes fighting the mess feels like trying to go at the ocean with a ring mop. Like an endless washing machine cycle. And it's been the cause of a lot of frustration for me as a homemaker. Probably more than necessary. So as someone that feels like they have been in an uphill battle with my home, here are my thoughts on the matter. The first thing is that you're going to have to accept your work being undone. When you live in your home 24/7 like we do, it's going to look like you live in your home 24/7. Your home is meant to be a place of functionality, and it's meant to work and serve your family. It's not meant to be a museum or a showplace. And that's not to say that we shouldn't strive for it to be beautiful and tidy and put together and organized, but we also can't sit in a constant state of frustration because we're living in our house, because dishes are being used and laundry is being used and toys are being pulled out. Because the dishes that you just washed will need to be eaten on again. The toys that you just put away will be pulled out again. The clean shirt that you just put on your child will get a giant ketchup drip down the middle. And that's just the way it is. And that's the way a home was meant to serve your family. Gone are the days of having everything stay in its place. Our home works hard for us. And I've traded the perfection of everything staying in its place for living room forts and stuffed animal parties. And I think that that's a pretty good deal. But so often I let myself get frustrated by the fact that my work is constantly being undone and having to be redone. But I think I need a perspective shift and to look at it as my home is serving me and being functional for my family, and also replace the grumbling over the undoing with gratitude for the living that we get to do in our home. The next thought is that I need to declutter more often. And this is one that I really struggle with, because y'all do know I've been through a minimalism phase and I got rid of just about everything, to be honest. I threw it all out and started completely over. And I do regret a few of the things that I got rid of. And so now at this point in my life, I'm a little bit hesitant to get rid of my things. Now there's a lot of other clutter type things that I'm not sentimentally attached to, but I also have a lot of knickknacks and home decor, and not all of it's being used. And then there's a lot of nooks and crannies in this house that need to be decluttered again. Decluttering is one of those things that is never going to be done, I feel like, either. You have to constantly and consistently declutter, or it just gets to be too much. And when I find myself feeling like I'm just moving clutter around from room to room, that's when I know it's majorly overdue. My mom helped me last summer to get several closets and rooms in my house organized. And while some of that is still intact, some of it needs to be readdressed because there's a couple of areas that have gotten out of control. So I'm slowly starting to work through and try to declutter some of my things, trying to make it a little bit easier, because I do think, although I will never go back to the very bare, which I wasn't completely a bare bones minimalist, but I feel like my house was very empty compared to what it is now. And I'll never go back to that because that to me lacked a lot of coziness. But I do think that less stuff equals less mess, and it also equals less brain energy that I spend thinking about the mess. So I do think that decluttering more often is something I definitely need to do to help me with the mess in our house. The next thing is to continue to strive for excellence in my home, but not to expect perfection. And I think that I get hung up on what I want it to be like, and maybe that's not always realistic. Wanting my house to look like it did before I had children, when it was just me and my husband and we weren't home all the time because we both worked. Expecting my house to look like that all the time is not realistic. So I can't shoot for that kind of perfection because I will just end up frustrated. But I can continue to strive for excellence and try to find the systems that work and try to find a consistent routine that works for my home and for my family's needs. And just basically try to be better than I was yesterday. Like, that's all I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to figure out how to be a better homemaker than I was yesterday. I'm not trying to be perfect because I will never get there, and I will just end up frustrated if I try to be perfect. And I think to go along with this too, don't compare yourself to other people, because that is a trap. And it may not be, because I know everybody says that the internet is not real. And like, in a lot of ways, yeah, the internet is not real, because most people don't want to choose to show all of their imperfections and their imperfect house online. And that's totally fine. Like, I don't want to show my house when it's at its worst on my Instagram. But also, some people are just better at things than other people. And some people actually do keep a really, really nice house with children. I'm not trying to say that people that keep nice houses online don't actually keep nice houses. Although I'm sure they have mess to deal with just like everybody else. You know, I'm just saying, don't compare yourself to other homemakers, because that does nothing for you. All that does is make you feel resentful towards that person. It makes you bitter, and it doesn't make you better. Like, it doesn't improve your effectiveness in your home for you to compare yourself to somebody else. Now, you can be motivated by somebody else. You can be inspired by somebody else. I love seeing other homemakers that are doing different things in their home. I'm inspired by other people's homemaking. I find motivation by other people's homes. But don't sit and compare your homemaking to their homemaking in a bitter way or a resentful way or a jealous way, because that does nothing for you. All it does is make you very ineffective because you're sitting around resentful and scrolling on your phone instead of actually dealing with your own house. And so I think what we should all be doing is just striving to be better than we were yesterday, striving to be a better homemaker than we have been. Try to be in competition with yourself and get your house under control in a way that works for you and your family. And that's what I'm trying to do. Instead of shooting for some perfection that I have in my head or somebody else's reality or perceived reality, trying to just do better and move forward in the best way possible. Because ultimately, as the homemaker, it's up to you. There is no miracle solution. There is no special button you can push. There is no life hack that's going to get your home in order. That's up to you as the homemaker, and you have to be the one to figure that out. And that's where I am, is trying to figure it out. And I think it's seasonal as well. Like, you have to figure it out in each season, because depending on the age of your kids, depending on where you're at in life, things are going to look different, and your same system won't work forever. You're constantly going to have to readjust, and it's up to you as the homemaker. And to go along with talking about things changing seasonally, I do think that sometimes you have to adjust your expectations based on the season of life that you're in, because what your mess is going to look like when you're freshly postpartum is going to be different than what it looks like when you're 4 or 5 years out. My reality with a child that's 4 and a child that's 5, my homemaking is going to look different than somebody who has teenagers. Theirs is going to look very different from mine. Ours is going to all be different from an empty nester. Like, everybody's homemaking and everybody's cleaning systems are going to look different depending on what season of life that you're in. And I think sometimes you have to adjust your expectations. If you're in a more survival mode type season, you're going to have to adjust your expectations of what you can do and establish what your 4 walls are. Like, no matter what, these are the things that have to be done, and everything else can just kind of coast for a little bit. And then for me, I'm in a season where I'm not in survival mode anymore. And I think I've talked about this before, but that's been something really weird for me, because I feel like I was in survival mode for a long time because I had 2 children very close in age, and I was stuck in baby survival, postpartum, that mode for a really long time. And it was really hard for me to switch out of that, we're kind of just surviving, because I wasn't sleeping through the night for a really long time. And so that was a bit of a struggle for me. And so now it's I'm at a point where I'm realizing, hey, I'm actually in a totally different season now. My children are in a totally different, chapter with the ages that they're at than they were when I had 2 babies. And so I'm at this point where I'm trying to figure it out even more, because I'm at a point where I don't really have to adjust. I mean, there's some expectations that have to be adjusted, but not as much as it did when I was in survival mode. Does that make sense? Trying to break out of that survival mode mindset and move into, okay, we need to start working on some really effective homemaking systems, because you're not in that baby mode anymore. And it's kind of strange to say that, because we've been out of baby mode for a while, but it was just something that was kind of hard to make the switch. And I just think that it's important to remember that your routines and your homemaking and all of that is going to fall in line with whatever season that you're in. You need to adjust it. So that's just something to remember, especially if you are somebody who has really small babies and you're not sleeping through the night and you're postpartum and you're dealing with things, or even if you have a different lifestyle where, both parents work and your kids go to school, everything can be adjusted based on what your lifestyle and what your season of life is. So just don't stress it. It's okay if you have to adjust things. That's the beautiful thing about it, is you're able to adjust, readjust, set the tone, figure out the system. You're able to do all of that. So don't sweat it if you have to adjust some expectations, and remember that you can do that, and it's okay. to sum up my thoughts on this, I just want to say that I don't think we need to glorify or normalize the mess. I think that we need to try to do the best that we can do in our homes. Our jobs were given to us for a reason, and everybody is a homemaker. Whether you live in an apartment by yourself, or you live in your parents' house in your own bedroom, or if you have kids and you stay home all the time, or if you work full time, it doesn't matter. Everybody is a homemaker, and everybody has been given a stewardship over something. And we are meant to be stewards over our homes and to take care of them. And it not only benefits our families, it benefits us. My mental state is so much better when my house is clean and orderly. And so, like I said earlier, I think we just need to strive to be better than we have been. Always be striving to be a better homemaker than you were yesterday. Try to find the systems that work. Try to find the routines that work. And if what you're doing is not working, like I have found myself so often figuring out that, this isn't working and I need a new plan, throw it out and start over. That is the beautiful thing about being the homemaker, is you are the CEO of your home, and you get to put the things in place that will best help you serve your home and help you cultivate a calm and clean and organized environment. And please take everything I said and know that I am not telling you this because I am perfect at this. I am telling you all of this as somebody who has struggled greatly with the mess in my home. And these are just thoughts that I have come up with and put together based on my own experience and my own thoughts about myself and my homemaking journey. So I don't speak to you as an expert or somebody who's perfect at this. I speak to you as somebody who is actively working towards trying to always be better in my home, because Lord knows I could always be better in this area. So I'm going to let the rest of the video play. I've got just basically like some cleaning montage and making some waffles here at the end of this video. So I'm going to let the rest of this video play because I've picked some really cute music. So I'm going to let it play out. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you found some encouragement from it. Please leave me a comment below if you did, and please like the video. And I will talk to you in the next video. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the music. you.